Welcome to another Tim Talk on disciple making. These are short 5-minute poignant conversation starters to challenge the status quo in today's church and in the lives of people like you and me when it comes to following Jesus' invitation to follow him to be made into a disciple maker, and then in obeying his command to go into the world and make disciples of all nations. Today specifically, I want to focus on what I've referred to in the past as the Great Invitation. Many times we don't fulfill the Great Commission at the end of the Gospel of Matthew because we really haven't spent enough time understanding and personalizing and counting the cost in accepting the Great Invitation of Jesus. In Matthew chapter 4, right after Jesus had been baptized, been tempted, and then entered his ministry, he set out to find a small community in which he would spend life and share the news and the discipling ethic of the kingdom. It says there in chapter 4, he was walking beside the Sea of Galilee and he saw two brothers. They were doing what they did most days and nights, fish. Simon Peter, his brother Andrew, they were at the time casting a net into the lake, and he simply said words of calling and invitation, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Scripture says at once they just dropped their nets and followed him. And going on, he found two of the sons of Zebedee, James and John, and the same thing happened as well. Have you ever stopped to personalize this invitation for yourself? For these men, they would have heard of Jesus. He had just started his ministry. But obviously the words that he had spoken and his reputation had somehow preceded him, so that when he called out to them, not only they recognized him, but something within them released them from their profession, their priorities, their possessions, and they just simply left their nets and followed him. There is a cost in following Jesus if we are to accept this invitation. And I'm wondering today if you've actually followed that cost. The cost is not one of simply being amused or amazed at someone, but actually following them to the point of imitation. The Bible talks about imitating God as dearly loved children, following the example of Jesus Christ in Ephesians chapter 5. But to follow means more than simply being spectators or observers, but you simply jump into the deep end of your faith, not truly understanding the mystery of it all, but being compelled by this one called Jesus to follow him, to become like him, and have your life forever changed. That is the starting point of disciple making. It has nothing to do with others. It begins with you and your relationship with Jesus. When I was growing up, we learned a chorus we used to sing. Then the words are, "To be like Jesus, this hope possesses me. In every thought and deed, this is my aim, my creed. To be like Jesus, this hope possesses me. His Spirit helping me, like him I'll be." So when Jesus decided to form a small community in which he would share life on life with, they became his followers, his disciples. They had no idea what was to follow, but Jesus did. By the end of his ministry, he had groomed and taught them with all the basic principles of what it meant to go and share their faith for those who are yet to believe. And for us, the same cycle begins as well. I've got an invitation here in my hand, and actually it's an invitation for you. We received multiple invitations during the year. Last year, weddings down east. Every time I seem to turn on the internet, there's some sort of invitation to buy something or exchange something or be entertained by someone. But the thing about an invitation is someone else has done a lot of planning before they actually issue the invitation. And as such, if we get one in the mail, we open it up and it simply says, "We are invited." I would like to challenge you today to receive an invitation, if you haven't done yet, from Jesus himself, to come and follow me, as he says, and I will make you into a disciple maker. We all remember the day that we accepted the invitation of Jesus to follow him by becoming a Christ follower. We crossed the line of faith, and now we're a child of God. But can you remember the day when literally you decided to become a disciple maker? Because this is the invitation I have for you today. Jesus is speaking through me to you. I pray and trust that you will, perhaps for the first time in a long time, reread Matthew chapter 4 and verse 19 and personalize that invitation as if Jesus were looking at you right now, saying, come, follow me. I've got a world of adventure for you. Follow me, imitate me, and I'm going to change you, and I will make you into a disciple maker. And one day, you will go and make disciples of others, as I have trained you to be a disciple maker. May God bless you in your consideration of this invitation. And now here's a few coaching questions at the end of this Tim Talk on disciple making. Now here are some disciple making questions for you to consider and digest based on this Tim Talk on disciple making.